Like I clearly.
Yo, what up? It's Mayor Frost. Like, comment, and subscribe. Jesus is King. This is Lecrae. He's having some talk show and talking about his life. So let's get it. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe.
Rapping about Jesus and God, and then after I'm done, French Montana comes. He's like, "You gonna hit the strip club? You wanna roll with us?" And I was like,
Y'all ain't hear me for real.
"Nah, I'm good." He's like, "What, you some kind of Christian rapper or something?" I was like, "What?" I don't know when to say, "Hey man, raise your hand, jump shot." I don't know the rules. I just know I love God, I love hip hop. I'm gonna put them together, and this is what you gonna get. I'm at Jamie Foxx's house. That's not a flex.
Okay.
That's not a flex.
But
I'm there sitting with. This is not a flex. Promise you, it's not a flex. I'm sitting there with Snoop and T.I. And
Flex. What's up, y'all? I'm your host of BETTalks, Tiara Marsh, and I am here today with the one and only Lecrae, aka the Apprentice of Jesus. So, if you are in need of a word, you are in the right place today. Welcome. How are you feeling?
I appreciate that. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm still an apprentice. I'm in training.
I know that you're originally from Houston.
That's right, H-Town.
Now you're out here in Atlanta.
That's right.
So let's do a little battle of the two.
Oh,
This
boy.
or that.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be rough.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
tap
I'm gonna
in.
be honest, though. I'm gonna keep it real.
So, best brunch, Houston or Atlanta?
Ooh. All right, so here's the thing. It depends on what you're looking for brunch.
Okay.
If you want to just be amongst people hobnobbing and looking good and hanging out, Atlanta.
Okay.
If you want to enjoy your food, Houston for sure.
Best nightlife, Houston or Atlanta?
Okay, depends on what kind of nightlife you like. You see what I'm saying? Because now here's the thing. There's a certain type of nightlife where people don't wear their clothing. They say Houston is better for that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Right.
But outside of that, I like Atlanta. It's something for everybody. Whatever your flavor is, there's something here. You know what I mean?
Okay. Best barbershops.
Here's the thing. It's just way more celebrities in Atlanta, and they're particular, so the barbers got to be on point.
Okay.
So I think the skill set in Atlanta is better. The prices in Houston are better, because some of these barbers in Atlanta want a hundo for a lineup.
See.
You got, come on now, fam.
Best producers.
Ooh. See, everybody migrates to Atlanta. They don't be from here though. That's the thing. Cause you give people credit. I'm gonna go with Atlanta because you got Lil Jon to, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
Houston Texans versus Atlanta Falcons.
Texans all day.
Okay, period.
Yeah, all day. It's not even a question.
Nothing to be said
Not
about
even a question.
that.
Shout out to my dog, CJ Stroud. Houston all day.
Houston Rockets versus Atlanta Hawks.
My heart is in Houston. But the Hawks are better.
Oh.
Houston got some pieces, don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But I like what the Hawks is doing.
Houston Astros. All right.
Yeah, I'm shocked myself. I'm way more Houston than I thought I would be.
It's given like half and half.
Okay,
50.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So on to the next.
Okay.
We're gonna just really hop into your story because
Word.
it's been quite a journey, right? And you like to say that my music is not Christian. Lecrae is.
That's right. Yeah.
So take us from the beginning. You grew up, you had gone through some hardships. You dealt with abuse. You also dealt with the history of drugs, and then ended up finding your way to walking your path with God.
I always say, I come from humble, like near invisible beginnings. My grandmother, she had to move out at like 13. She had 12 kids.
Yeah.
Her and my mom had their issues, so then my mom has me young. We starting off just already like not on good footing. My dad is trying, but he's hustling on the side. My pops ran with the Compton Crips. And he's trying to do it right. He got a good job at UPS and he's trying, but then life just goes sideways. They go their separate ways and I don't see him again. So then I'm just kind of raised with the influence of my uncles. My uncles are a product of gang environment. It's really like me trying to figure out who I am in this era, because internally I'm a creative, I see the world differently, but externally I gotta have this bravado and I gotta be a tough guy. I just was bottling it up. So The good part about it was my creativity was opening doors for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a full scholarship to college, for performing arts because a teacher said I had a gift. The beauty of going to college was I ran into a girl that I knew from high school. She said, come to Bible study. I'm like, I don't know nobody here. I was a thinker. So I would have went to the Rastafarian group. I'd have went to the mosque. I'd have went anywhere.
Yeah. I
I just wanted to be around people and think and process. So I went, kept coming back. And God really started to work on me in that time period, in that process.
When you go through things in life, that's really a huge transition naturally when you can get closer to God, because
Sure.
things start to resonate with you completely different
Oh,
versus
yeah.
if you're a child and you're hearing about it but you haven't experienced anything
Yeah,
yet.
woo, I had some experiences, boy. Some experiences.
No, your story is actually it's inspiring, and I know for you tell people don't buy into fame and things like that. So do you feel like sometimes there's this conflict you're fighting with being this idol to people?
People always say, how do you balance it and how do you stay humble? And the truth of the matter is, I wasn't in a season. I was more arrogant. I do club appearances, they playing my record. I'm like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
that
man.
dude. I'm him right now. And I'm feeling myself, but it was taking me down a spiral of despair internally. I wasn't healthy. I can now be on the flip side and say, that takes you nowhere. It's
Yeah.
really more of an empty world and an empty lifestyle.
Seeking validation outside, you don't need that.
Facts.
Okay.
Yeah, facts. I appreciate being appreciated
Yeah.
and being appreciated by my peers, but it's still I'll never forget. I don't even know what's safe to say anymore where I went, but I went to the Rock Nation brunch. I'm just saying what it is, because in 2027 they're gonna be like, oh, that was you was at the. I was there.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy happened. I was there. Anyway, so I'm at the brunch and I'm tripping because I see this outer circle, then I see this inner circle.
Yeah.
And on the outer rim, it's you see D-list celebrities, whatever you want to call them. They're human beings, they
Right.
matter. But then this inner circle is the biggest artists in the world sitting in there. It's like the cool kids table. And I was like, oh, this is just high school again. Everyone still wants to be at the cool kids table.
Trying to get in.
Yeah. And I was just like, this is so stupid.
The theme of surrendering, I know that's big for you. Do you feel like your biggest surrender, one of them was kind of giving up that need or that feeling of, I need y'all to see me and accept me?
I'm in the therapist chair, huh? That's what's happening right now? I'm in therapy?
No, we talking.
I'm in
but
therapy.
I
You
see
got
you,
up
I
under
feel
there.
you,
You
I
did a
feel
little
you.
surgical move real quick. You just,
Look, it's relating because I've been through, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah. My mantra is if you live for their acceptance, you'll die from their rejection. I think the historical trauma that I have of being abandoned by my father, of not living up to the standard of the street dudes that I grew up around, right? Because I felt I never went to prison, and that was a badge of honor. That need to be validated was so strong in me because no one ever said, I'm proud of you, you did it, you're here, you're a man. No man. And I would oftentimes seek my validation from women, like the arms of a woman, well, if she likes me, then I must matter, then I must mean something, or success. And yes, I had to surrender that because a lot of times our identity is wrapped up in what we do, but your identity is not achieved, it's received.
Going into your parents, you talked about your mom, you talked about your dad. I know you've actually interviewed both of them.
Oh man, yeah.
How did that feel? I mean, I feel like that's so wild.
Both of them was different.
Yeah.
Mom's was she's so real, she was nervous. Whatever comes to her mind is coming out her mouth. So she was guarded a little bit because she didn't, but it was also dope. We got her going and rolling. With my dad, that was the first time we had a sit-down conversation in my life.
Wow, yeah.
So it was the first time we ever got to interact one-on-one. So I had to demonstrate a lot of grace for him. He's dealt with addiction. He hasn't. What I had to learn about, especially an older generation, is they don't always have the mental categories to be vulnerable like we do. So it was me actually kind of being more of the parent in that conversation.
Yeah.
And shaping it.
How do you feel like that translates into fatherhood for you today?
I went into being a dad trying to be everything my dad wasn't, right? So I went into it just I gotta be the cycle breaker. And the good part about that is you invest a lot in your kids. The downside is you can also form your identity in being a father. If I'm not living up to this standard I have in my mind of what a good dad is, then I'm failing. I'm doing the best I can to break all the cycles to be the dad that I never had.
Come on, chain breaker. See,
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying.
So you have a lot of accolades. I mean, period, point blank, we know this.
Yeah.
But I do want to list a few firsts out. Just let's really,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
acknowledge the greatness.
Wow.
First Christian hip hop artist to have an album top the Billboard Gospel Albums charts. First hip hop artist to win Best Gospel Album at the Grammys. First album to simultaneously top the Billboard 200 and top Gospel Albums charts. And the first rap artist to win Best Gospel Artist at the BET Awards. Do you ever like just sit and really like think about all that you have accomplished and the magnitude of what it is?
The gift and the curse of loving what you do and being successful at what you do is that you're always focused on the next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
For
don't
sure.
take a minute to just bask in the moment. It's like, you just won the championship. I gotta go to practice tomorrow.
Yup.
I just be
On
go,
go.
go. Even to the point to where, like, I'll be at the BET Awards or be at the Grammys or something, like, and literally get off stage and then it's like, Chris Brown's like, yo man, rock with your music, I appreciate you. And then I'll be thinking to myself, yo, we gotta get in the studio with CD, bro. That's me. Yo, Chris, hey, what you got going on tomorrow? You know what I mean? And it's like, instead of just being like, yo, I remember winning the BET Awards, right?
Yeah.
We go out to eat to this restaurant and Fat Joe comes over to the table and he brings me a bottle of champagne and he's just like, yo man, congratulations. I'm like, Fat Joe knows who? Wow, I didn't even know he was up on it. I wasn't even able to just sit in that and be like, yo, hip hop icons are just telling you they appreciate you. I'm sitting there scratching my head like, yo, who should I do a feature with? What can I?
It's always, you feel like you haven't quite bust down the door yet, but you absolutely did, and then you need to like give it that
Yep.
pause.
Yep.
How do you slow down?
Discipline.
Yeah.
I have to discipline myself to slow down. Like, margin is when you have enough time to reflect on the past and look forward to the future. If I can't sit still long enough to look forward to something or to reflect on the things that God has done in my life, then I'm moving too fast.
So I want to do a little game with you as we go into the music. I'm going to recite some lyrics to you, and I want to see if you remember
Okay.
what it's from.
Oh boy, here we go.
All right, so the first one, this is going to be a tricky one.
I
I'm
ain't
gonna
gonna know
lie.
these. I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't be knowing my lyrics on stage.
Okay. Hey, this is what happens when hip hop let the Saints in. Taylor just snatched the mic, Swifty, like Ye did.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when hip hop lets the Saints in. Chase that, I think.
No.
Oh,
But you're reciting it, so I know you're gonna know.
it's oh wait, it's like something from church clothes. I feel like I don't know. I don't know.
It's the BT Cypher.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! The verse that literally.
Everybody was running with that cypher.
That was a big moment in my life. Like, hold on, I gotta tell you about that. That
Tell
was a
me about
moment.
it. Let's get into it.
I grew up on hip hop, man. I grew up on it. The BET Cypher is like the pinnacle. It's like the top of the tops. So everyone's in the Cypher, right? You got Eminem, you got Kendrick, you got everybody there.
Everybody.
So my wife is pregnant, like 9 months pregnant. And my son is born the day before the BET Cypher. I'm like, I'm staying with my wife and son. I can't dip out.
Yeah.
My wife looks at me and she says, get on the plane. And so I'm writing my rap on the plane on the way to the Cypher.
Wow.
Literally. And then I get there, it's the biggest moment of my career at the time. Everyone's just staring at me like, you got Rick Ross, Meek Mill, DJ Premier.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I just gotta go. That moment was nuts.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Huge
It
moment.
was big for me.
Like,
Yeah, it was massive.
to this day.
Yeah. To this day.
What are some of your favorite moments of when you were on BET? Like, you got 106 in
Yeah,
Park.
that was it.
the
That's
Cypher.
BET Cypher 106, hands down.
Okay.
Yeah, as a kid,
Yeah.
I remember my first trip to New York, I went to go look for 106 in Park on 106 in Park like an idiot, thinking that was where the place was. I'm on 106. I was like, where's the building? They like, brother, it's not here. It's not really on this.
I would have done the same.
So that was dope. Just to be on there, like you grew up watching that, and then you sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget how much taller than Bow Wow I was. I was like, he's really small.
Not
I mean, I'm
straight.
really tall, but I mean, it was a moment, you know. Cypher was amazing because my favorite rappers in the world were sending me tweets and stuff like that after it was over with. And it was also
crazy.
funny because when I was done, like I'm clearly rapping about Jesus and God. And then after I'm done, French Montana comes, he's like, yo, you was dope, bro. He's like, we finna hit the strip club, you wanna roll with us? And I was like,
Y'all didn't hear me for real.
nah, I'm good. He was like, what, you some kind of Christian rapper or something? I was like, what? Okay, it's cool, it's cool.
They got stuck on the flow.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's cool. But appreciate the invite, French. I turned them down, had to respectfully.
I love that. Okay, so the next one, you ready? Yeah, I know I'm ratchet, but I'm really saved. I gave you a brief bar for
Yeah,
that
okay. That's coming in hot.
Absolutely!
That's coming
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. When you perform that song 50 million times.
Yeah, that was a
You know that
massive moment as well.
Big moment. Big moment.
You still think on it fondly? You love it?
It was an unexpected moment. Like I remember we were about to go on tour, me and Andy going on tour.
Yeah.
Andy's like, yo, let's do a song for the tour. We forgot to do the song. He's in San Diego. He hits me. He's like, yo, I'm in the studio about to record this song. I'm literally in LA. I'm at Jamie Foxx's house. That's not a flex.
Okay.
That's not a flex.
but
I'm there sitting with, this is not a flex. I promise you it's not a flex. I'm sitting there with Snoop and T.I. And Snoop says to me, because Snoop know what I'm on. And he was like, hey nephew, it might be time for you to leave. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess the smoke session was about to happen, and it's like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? No big deal.
Yeah.
He was being polite. He's like, you can stay if you want to stay, but
Right.
I don't recommend you stay. Smoke session's probably about to happen. I don't want you to catch a contact. You know what I'm saying? Be high on Jesus. Go and do your thing. So I'm leaving, and I'm like, well, Andy's in San Diego. It's like a 2-hour drive. I said, bump it. Let me just jump in the car and drove 2 hours to San Diego to record the song with him.
Yeah.
And coming in hot that's how it happened. So shout out to
Came in
Snoop
hot.
for kicking me out the house.
Wow, shout out to Snoop.
When I had that song.
All right, here's the next one. They say, don't get bitter, get better. I'm working on switching them letters, but tell God I'm gonna need a whole lot of hope keeping it together.
That ain't nothing.
The pillar of light, and show people that, you know, God can change you. He can move upon you, and he can do mighty things in your life. So, yeah.
But I'll find you. That ain't nothing but I'll find you.
I used to run that song up, okay? I mean, I still do. It's an amazing track. What was it like collabing with Tori?
That's my little sis, man.
Yeah.
She was on tour. Before her show started, she would play my album. So I pulled up to one of the shows, and she was fanning out. And I was like, I'm a fan of you, this is great. So we just became fast friends. She asked me for a lot of advice, you know, spiritual advice. And so it was just being able to just like help be a spiritual leader for her in the music industry for a season, to where we just became family.
Come on.
And that song, that was just like God just doing something beyond our comprehension. Yeah.
And it's felt through the track, let me just
Yeah,
say.
for sure, for sure.
All right, the next one. I ain't trying to go back to the old me. I'm trying to hang on like my mama told me. Sometimes legs get weak and your arms give out and you sink to the bottom slowly. This is gonna tie into something that I hinted to you earlier that we'll talk about.
Told me, let's get about it. Sing to the bottom slowly. Deep End?
Yes!
Okay.
Oh, come on!
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Because
good.
this is better than I should be doing. I ain't gonna lie to you. People will be impressed with me right now.
Okay.
I don't remember nothing.
And I had to put that one on there because I really wanted to.
I see what you did.
You see what I did there? A little
to the podcast.
swivel to the
I see what you did.
podcast.
I see what you did. I see that. For
But
sure.
the podcast, you've really curated this space where people can authentically show up as themselves,
Yeah.
being perfectly imperfect, right? What really prompted you to be like, I want to set this space up and I want to do it now?
Okay, true story. I was watching Aisha Curry on a podcast, and Aisha was being very vulnerable. Social media destroyed her after that. And I just thought, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's not right for people to be their authentic selves just to get eaten alive. I'm coming fresh out of 2 years of therapy. So I felt very like, oh, y'all try to beat me up.
Yeah.
I'm healed and I got something for you. That was the initial thought process for like even my music, and then even the podcast was like, I just want to get out here and say the things that I've been eating up in therapy.
Yeah.
And the healed person, that the work that God has been doing in my soul. So that's how it started. And then I wanted to give other people not just a chance to sit there and be heard, but like have an audience out there who's like, that's me, I relate. Because I need those stories.
Yes.
Like I struggle with, you know, mental health, and to see Taraji P. Henson talk about her mental health is like, it was freeing for me. So I'm like, I want other people to experience that freedom.
I mean, it's a dope podcast.
Thank you.
You've had some incredible guests on there. I mean, we're just talking about your sis, B. Simone.
That's right.
You've had a lot of people though. So who do you think's maybe been like one of your favorites of all time? Like that interview was just...
Top of the tops is B. Simone. She was so real. She was shedding tears. She was saying, I don't got it figured out. But the most authentic part about it was when it was all said and done, it was over with. We talked even more after it was over with. She was just like, I want to do better. I want to get better. And she was like, what church y'all at? Shout out to Eagles Nest Church in Atlanta. Come holler at us. I was like, this is where we go to church. She said, I'm pulling up tomorrow. And I was like, word. She came to church with me and my family. And it was like, she's like, say what you want to say.
Yeah,
now you may see her on Wildin' Out, you know, doing, she's a work in progress, as we all are.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I love her for that.
You want to talk about your work out there in the churches, because we know.
I'm a bridge builder, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the church is the greenhouse, the world is the jungle. I come from the jungle. I know how to function in the greenhouse, but I'm not built to stay in there. I'm supposed to be back out in the jungle, just showing people how to be healthier. I don't fit in either one of them all the way. And I'm too churchy for the world, I'm too worldly for the church. So that's my home, is that middle place.
You hold it down.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, next verse. You
Let's
ready?
go.
Yeah, so blinded. Give out so much love, I don't know where to find it. What I'm feeling right now, I can't define it. Overwhelmed over things I'm reminded.
I'm doing good. That's Lift Me Up.
Yes, come on. And that is a track from this year.
Yeah.
People have been missing you with music.
Yeah.
They've been ready for the tracks. They've been ready for a new album.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Can you give us some
Yeah.
walkthroughs of the music that we can expect?
I just been in the studio, just working. I'm probably about 50 songs in. The industry's just different, so it's kind of like, do you put them all out as an album? Do you drop some here and there? I don't know. So I've been just working hard.
Is there anything that you're trying on this?
Honestly, I'm not trying to make a hit. So I was really inspired by Kendrick's GNX. And the reason why is because I don't feel like he was trying to make a hit.
Yeah.
I feel like he was just being authentic. He was making music that he loved. He was reconnecting with his soil. And I want to do something very similar. You know, I'm not trying to hide my faith. I'm not trying to like shield it a little bit so it's more palatable. This is who I am. I'm also not trying to be over churchy.
Because that authenticity jumps out. People are going to relate to it, the people that you want to relate to it.
That's my hope.
So the next one, this is the final one for the lyrics, okay?
All right.
It's the big one though, I expect you to get it.
Gosh.
Better not be no real Jesus, real forgiveness for hurt folks. If God gonna take me as I am, I guess I already got on my...
Church cloud.
Oh.
You feel me?
Okay, let's really hop into that era, because that was the jump off.
It was.
And talking about all of this authenticity we've been talking about for you, the real and the rawness to your journey, and you showing up unapologetic. You did exactly that with the Church Clothes mixtapes. You did it on this track, and it was, you know, you shook the table.
I wasn't trying to shake the table.
Did
I
you?
was just being me.
I was gonna say, was that like your aim when you
I was just
dropped
being me.
it?
It was like I was just raw.
Yeah.
And like, look, this is who I am. I just want to be who God made me to be authentically. And I love Jesus. I'm gonna wave that banner. I may be rough around the edges, but this is who I am. And I didn't know the rules. I don't know when to say, hey man, raise your hand, jump shot. I don't know the rules. I just know I love God. I love hip hop. I'm gonna put them together, and this is what you're gonna get.
Because why can't they go together?
I don't know why they can't go together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's really kind of how I came into the game. And I just wasn't, I was a disruptor. And I think that's really been the essence of my journey, is just being a disruptor. And some of us, that's just the way we are wired. So you gotta be the first sometimes to do something.
Yeah.
And it ain't always pretty and fun.
Okay, so going into Reach Records, I think it's really admirable how you have done something independent, because that
Yeah.
is hard. How have you maintained the energy around it, being independent?
I've never been a traditional artist. I've always been a businessman. I've always been a person who was an entrepreneur. So for me, for my business to be successful is equally as important as me as an artist to be successful.
Yeah.
I saw it from the lens of entrepreneurship and business. My first album, my budget was $5,000, which was borrowed money. But let's just say we made $20,000 off of it. I took all the $20,000 that I made off that first album and reinvested into my other artists. So their projects were dope. That generated more income. Then we reinvested in the company. I built a studio in Atlanta. It's a state-of-the-art studio. We've had everybody in there from her to Justin Bieber. So a lot of it is just investing in your business and reinvesting in your business, and not just, you know, being selfish.
When you pour back into the community.
Yeah, you got to.
I love that. What is something that you've talked about, you don't like, you know, people have their misconceptions, right? Is there one, this is a two-part question.
Okay.
Is there one that you feel people still have that you want to go ahead and clear up? And then part two, is there something you feel like you've never been asked that you've always wanted to share?
Okay. Everybody's gonna have their opinion. So there's always gonna be something that somebody thinks that's like, whatever, man. I can't clear it up. We live in an era of public opinion is law. At the end of the day, the people who know me and love me, they know I ain't got nothing to hide. The thing that I think people probably don't know is, you know, I built a successful platinum, Grammy award-winning, multi-million-dollar record label. I used to get mad at like Ice Cube and like a lot of rappers and stuff, because I'd be like, man, y'all built these empires and y'all just keep telling us about the streets.
Yeah.
And now I'm in that kind of same position where it's like, dang, I'm not teaching people the game. Sometimes people think this is happenstance or luck. It is the grace of God, but it's also a good stewardship of reading books and learning and always growing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I need to do a better job of doing. I will try.
You succeeded in that today, so
All right.
steps.
All right.
I don't know about y'all, but I am feeling blessed and highly favored.
Come on with it.
So thank you for joining BET Talks.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Shout out to my homie Jaquan doing his thing, this music.